Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be looking at the Supersonic figure from Jakks Toys from the movie Sonic 3. Now, I absolutely adore Supersonic. He's one of my favorite characters in the entire Sonic universe. It's a Super Saiyan, effectively. He is a Super Saiyan. But I generally kind of really like this sort of thing. And I didn't know that there was going to be a super form, although I've seen the toys. So now I'm going to try and track down all the others. Now, I do generally think that this is a fantastic figure, but we'll see what it's like. So to start off, we have obviously Shadow, Tails, Knuckles, and Sonic. Supersonic, it says Supersonic from Jakks Toys. Sonic 3 at the top. From the side, you can see Supersonic, and this is what I kind of really like. So you also have Supersonic. Supersonic is the ultimate form for Sonic. In this state, his power is unmatched, or is it? Now, I know there is Super Shadow. I have seen that. I kind of wish these figures didn't come out or came out just after the film, but you know, literally we've got here. So it says 22 points of articulation, Knuckles, Shadow, and Chow Mascot Tails, which I generally thought was Tails that you just take it off, but again, I have no idea why that's there. Then we have Supersonic right there. At the top, you can just see through, and at the bottom is just standard. Anyway, let's open up this bad boy and have a look inside. And here is Supersonic. I generally think that this is a cool figure. I am a huge Supersonic fan. Absolutely love him. I love the kind of style. Again, Dragon Ball Z, Super Saiyan. So yeah, so the lovely yellow, he's got red eyes, a kind of like a smirk. His arms are very like movable. It's kind of like a little bit floppy in the body, but that's kind of Sonic, which I'm not really like kind of bothered with. Legs are absolutely fine. And we have the same shoes, the same, I'm guessing it's going to be the exact same mold, but we can see that his socks kind of go over. Then he's got the little kind of like yellow part that is just here at the top. And then I would probably say that it looks like the shoes could have moved, like his toes, but on this part here, there's a lot of like kind of residue type there build up, which obviously they probably didn't kind of clean the molds. On the back, you've got the kind of like his quills and all that going up, which I love. Now, there isn't like any yellow extra parts like you've got, say, on Sonic, obviously with his blue quills. So I generally kind of think that this looks really awesome for what it is. It's one of those things that you could pose and he would look absolutely awesome in any sort of like photo. So you could actually move the head down if you wanted something like that to kind of pose him. I absolutely think this is a fantastic one. Now, I did have a little bit of a problem with his arm trying to get it to move. It does feel weird, but again, like with a lot of kind of like maybe playing about, you could do it. I kind of wish his hands were more kind of easier to move around, but that's just me. It looks kind of cool for what it is. Now, let's do an articulation. It's really weird getting these like figures done really quickly, but his feet move okay. There's kind of like, you can feel that there's a little bit of a pull, so it's kind of just getting into place. Now, I'm very careful when it comes to my toys now. I don't want to be too heavily handed with it, but literally, you know, you could get sort of like a stand to hold him, and he'd look really cool like this. And I think I just love any sort of like kind of pose. His body does kind of move if you want his lower part. I'm not going to really go into it, because if it goes crack, I'm like, God damn it. Now, they have the same hand problem, which I'm not a huge fan of. You know, it just looks kind of weird that this thumb doesn't move, so I'd much rather have it. Moves around his hands. Now, his arm here, I feel, is a little bit too stiff, and I feel like it should be kind of adjusted, but his hands move. His hands move. Generally kind of like this, and his head does turn around, and his head is on kind of a ball joint, if you can see. I generally really love this sort of figure. I love anything Supersonic, and I was very kind of but I'll talk about that in a little bit. And there is Supersonic. Now, there's really not much to talk about with these sorts of figures. There's no tons of accessories, which is fine. I'm not expecting a ton of like accessories for the price that I paid for him. It would have been kind of cool if he had like maybe like swap out mouths, like maybe different eyes or something like that, you know, to have blue eyes for Super Saiyan, or maybe be able to have his hands move a little bit. Like, whatever it is, this figure is absolutely fine. Now, the prices are okay for what they are at the moment. They're movie toys. That's what they're getting. I would like them to be a little bit lower, I think. But to be fair, this figure is probably one of my favorite Sonic figures around, again, being a Supersonic stan. But I literally think that this is kind of cool. I feel like posing them, having tons of fun. Like, you could have some amazing photo shoots with this sort of stuff if you wanted to, even if you wanted to team them up with other characters. I generally think that this is a fantastic figure. And yeah, I think the only thing I would probably say is that the box, like, I know that these toys are designed to be ripped apart and then never used again, but I kind of feel like I would have liked a place to put them back in rather than, say, the plastic. For taking them out, the plastic was a bit of a ball ache, but generally, I think this is a cool figure. Anyway, I am going to leave it there. What are your thoughts on this particular figure? Are you enjoying the Sonic range? Do you collect Sonic? Is this the first time you've seen him? Yeah, I kind of really want Super Shadow now. But yeah, I am going to leave it there. If you want to help out the channel, hit like and subscribe. And why not check out the channel memberships and the Patreon. Thank you very much for listening and watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. I want to say a big thank you to all my Patreon supporters, and I wanted to shout out Kimono Cat. Your help goes a long way to help support the channel, and if you want to help support the channel, the links to my Patreon and channel memberships are listed below in the description.
あらあら、チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。以下のリンクから商品を入手することができます。